do it. Okay, motherfucker.
Hoo-ah, hoo-ah, hoo-ah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
You're just... You're a fucking drag, you know that?
Go ahead, you speak, I'll listen. Go ahead, you speak, I'll listen. Jesus crap. Don't call me right now, anybody. We're in the middle of genius.
Hey, welcome to Night Talk. Night Talk. My name is Midnight Mike, and I will be talking about certain topics, particular topics tonight. I'll also be taking some phone calls, possibly, from people. We are streaming live. And I am broadcasting live tonight from Command Center to Alpha 1.3.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Broadcasting from a brand new studio. Somewhere in the heart of it all. Somewhere in Ohio. In this amazing new studio. I broadcasted from it on Saturday during the Saturday show with Joe. And no one who called up even recognized that I was in a new studio. And I even neglected that I was in a brand new spot. I totally built the studio from the ground up once again, and this is a great spot. And not to get too nerdy right off the bat, but this room is dead when it comes to sound. Now, you know, there's a lot of YouTubers. I don't know if you like listen to Styx Hexenhammer or not, but he has like kind of like a little reverb on his voice, and he talks like in a room like this. Like Styx kind of like talks like this, and there's a big room. And it just kind of sounds like he's constantly, learning a group. But with this room, no. There's not a lot of soundproofing that needs to be done. You kind of just set up your stuff, and it sounded great from the get-go. I do have a little soundproofing up here and there, but by and large, moved in, ready to fucking go. And that's the end of the song. Right there. That's the end of the Night Talk theme right there. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Yes. And I will be doing more of these shows, more of these live one-on-one, me and you, as the year plows on, marches on. Now that I'm in a more conducive atmosphere to get to my equipment, why the hell not? I'll come out here and do some Monday Night Talk with everyone. Joe and I will be continuing the podcast on Wednesdays or Thursdays, and we'll be doing Saturday shows as well. This is part of the OBDM 2018 Plan for Attack. You better fight the New World Order before it fights you. That's our philosophy, and we're trying to live by that. Yeah, I can cut the music. I'm looking at the chat as I go. There are a few things I want to get to right off the bat, and obviously the phone lines are wide open, so this is your show just as much as it is mine. 614-388-9109. And right off the bat, I want to say I've been watching a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies. I've rediscovered my love for Quentin Tarantino. I saw The Hateful Eight a few weeks ago, and I thought it was an amazing movie. A lot of people think that it was slow or it was too drawn out. And it was all dialogue. It was all dialogue, but that's what you get out of a Tarantino movie. But I thought it was shot so well, and the landscapes were so well done, and the characters were so interesting that it was completely worth the almost 3 hours a person had to spend watching that movie. And I didn't feel bored one bit during that Tarantino movie. And as I went back and watched like Reservoir Dogs, and even I watched Pulp Fiction a few months ago. I need to watch Jackie Brown again, and the Inglourious Bastards. I'm a big fan of Tarantino, and I hope he makes more movies. Although the rumor is he's only going to make 10, and then he's done. And if you look at like any sort of news on Tarantino, he's getting ready to do his a new movie, Quentin Tarantino #9, and he's got Leonardo DiCaprio starring in a new movie that is set in the 60s, and it's going to be the backdrop is like the Manson family. We don't know what exactly Leonardo DiCaprio is going to play, or if he's going to play Manson himself. I don't know, but why not? I mean, at this point, DiCaprio, he really needs another Oscar, doesn't he? And I guess if you played Manson, and if Leo DiCap could do it, get an Oscar for playing Charlie Manson. He's dead now. There's a lot of nostalgia from the 60s. Tarantino loved the 60s. It could happen. It could happen in a big way. And I think we could all love it. But there's also, if you look up on this news feed up here, there's a supercut of Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek movie. And this is what it should look like. This I don't know who did this. The Nerdist posted this. And it's done in a silly, funny way. I'll play a little bit of this Star Trek Quentin Tarantino style, so you can take a listen and take a look. I'll make it flag for content, but well.
Walk Factor 8.
Their mission: to boldly go where no man has gone before. But outer space has other plans. And now, their mission has changed.
There's just one thing I want.
Revenge, Captain?
Why not?
Introducing the 9th film by Quentin Tarantino.
What were your orders, Kirk? To start a war? You've succeeded.
They meant to bring peace to the galaxy.
This will be your final battlefield.
They brought their pieces instead.
A lot of people think Tarantino can be overhyped. I don't think he's overhyped at all. I think he's actually a genius dialogue writer. The movies he's a part of are quite well done. And my girlfriend and I, Nicole, we actually went back and watched Natural Born Killers about a week and a half ago. And I think the story was done by Tarantino and that whole vibe. So I think Oliver Stone directed it, but the story was by Tarantino, and it's got that kind of vibe. You got the pure lunacy of Oliver Stone in his direction, mixed with some of the stylings and the cutscenes and the overall aesthetic by Tarantino. They should do some more stuff together. I'm looking forward to whatever Tarantino does. I dragged my feet for 2 years seeing The Hateful Eight, and I don't know if I would have survived seeing it in a theater. But I like to take a lot of bathroom breaks. A 3-hour movie, that might be about 5 bathroom breaks for me. It very well could be. My bladder is not what it used to be. And so being able to pause it, go to the bathroom, make a drink, and then come back, have a little talk or pause the movie. It's like, oh, God, what is that guy doing? Makes it more conducive for me, at least, during a Tarantino movie, especially something like The Hateful Eight. And I couldn't find any flaws with the Hateful Eight. I liked how it kind of wound up, and then it said, hey, 15 minutes later, or 15 minutes before this is what happened. And when 2 days before this is how this was set up. It was kind of like the whole Hateful Eight movie was set up a lot like Clue, the movie Clue. I don't know if you know the movie Clue. It's the Clue movie. I'll bring it up on screen. But because Clue had the regular movie, and then it had multiple movie endings towards the end of like, did Mr. Mustard, was it Mr. Mustard or General Mustard? I don't even know. But it did have like 3 endings. It had like Tim Curry, and who played the butler, aka the agent, and it also had Lee Ving in the movie Clue. I don't know if anybody knows who Lee Ving is. Lee Ving was the lead singer and guitar player from a punk band called Fear. Fear was a prominent LA punk band that started, I believe, in 1975 and produced one of the first punk rock records in America. I believe their first record came out in 1977, and right after I think the Ramones put out a record on the East Coast. And so Lee Ving, lead singer of Fear, he tried to launch his acting career, and he got in the movie Clue, and he died pretty quickly in the movie, by the way. But Lee Ving Fear, I'll actually play some Fear for anybody who doesn't know. And the best performance, if you're curious about punk rock and Fear, is to see Fear on SNL. Now, how do you have Fear on SNL? Like a hardcore punk rock band on SNL? Well, because of Belushi. Belushi was a huge fan of the punk rock scene. And he lobbied Lorne Michaels, I believe, very heavily to get Fear on SNL. And it was absolute craziness. So here is
Belushi apparently credible.
I'll play this.
Belushi apparently got you booked on SNL, or
that's right. I think John,
which people I read they say in this disastrous performance by Fear and SNL. I saw it on the internet the other day. It's incredible.
It was a musical performance by us, not disastrous at all. Somebody who had been in the audience at John's behest, calling Washington D.C. and having some bands with some people, supposed to be like 15 people, come up to New York to the studio to be audience to give a live.
I read maybe it was like Minor Threat guys or something like that.
And that's actually Lee Ving talking about his performance on SNL. Let's see if we can actually play the SNL
Belushi apparently
clip. Come on, why don't we stop talking about it, guys, and actually start playing some fucking Fear on SNL?
They look very frightening, but they're really very nice. Our Halloween night guests. And by the way, tonight, look out for surprises. Ladies and gentlemen, Fear!
This is live on Saturday night. Belushi was there. This is punk rock, early 80s. This is very against the grain. This is going out live to America. This is insane to think about that. So anyways, Lee Ving, the lead singer of Fear, was in the movie Clue, which had some, I guess, an epilogue to the movie. And much like Tarantino's Hateful Eight had an epilogue where they kind of explained how things came to be the way they are. Absolutely amazing movie, both Clue and the Hateful Eight. Oh boy. But check out that Fear record. Yeah, I gotta go back and listen to that more often. It's nice to go back and sometimes listen to punk rock from the late 70s. I'm a big fan of Stiff Little Fingers, Black Flag, Fear. I'll occasionally listen to the Sex Pistols every now and again, although it's getting much more harder to do that. There's much more interesting music out there when it comes to punk rock genre in the late 70s, or the Dead Boys. I like that as well, too. Oh, boy. 614-388-9109. I will take some calls, possibly, please. If not, I'm going to move over to some other topics now. Drunk! If you hear like something like something like that could be me coughing. Most likely it is a Shiba Inu named Hana, who lives in this house with Nicole and I, and I believe that this little Shiba Inu, who's 6 years old and comes from a rescue, she was rescued from a puppy mill. I believe that the dog has Tourette's, and it'll just like it'll just like kind of like bark like randomly down the stairs, or it like when it eats its food, it'll like bark in the food. Like it's just like I'm eating food, like it'll start barking at the food. Sweet, very sweet little Shiba, but Shiba Inus are difficult to train. They don't like to listen. They are pretty much the cats of dogs, if that's an analogy. They do their own thing. Very sweet dog. I have yet to pet it. I have yet to pet the dog because I don't know how much it really wants to do with me. But one day I hope to be able to pet the dog because it's so adorable looking. It's so sweet and adorable. Maybe one day even I will get to pet the dog. We'll see what happens. Did Bogey get 411? No. My dog Bogey is here as well. And he is, I think he's just quite as perplexed as I am with the Shiba. He's like, what are you barking? I mean, we both know there's a cat downstairs. You don't got to keep announcing it every 15 minutes. I know it's down there. I want to get down there too. Stop barking about it. Maybe it'll come up and we can attack it together. Yeah. Bogey's fine. Bogey has never been better. He loves it here. There's a backyard. We don't got to walk through broken glass in the city. Fantastic. So wait, did you move, Mike? Yeah, I did move. This is Command Center Alpha 1.3. Hold on. This is Command Center Alpha 1.3. There you go. Yeah, I moved. I mean, I'm in a new room. You guys don't see that? Like, there's no Mel Gibson picture back here. There's no Scotty picture back there. I'm in a new fucking room. I'm in a new house. I moved in with my girlfriend. It happened, baby. I'm here. I got all my stuff. Now I can start doing Saturday shows more. I can start doing impromptu shows like Night Talk Live, like today.
Well, hello, duh.
That's what's happening. Show a pic of the dog. I don't know if I have a picture of the dog on me. And I have the door closed. And I would show you the dog like live. I would hold it up. But I can't pet the dog. I can't hold the dog. It doesn't like men. And yeah, Matt, you bring up a really good topic in the chat. Yeah, no more sirens. No more sirens. That was one of the biggest downfalls of my apartment is that every time there was an ambulance, it would go right past my house. It was absolutely horrific at times. And you're trying to do a show, you're trying to get into a groove, and then all of a sudden, you have a police car rushing by the house and fire engines and all that kind of stuff. It became obviously very annoying, not just to me, but to, I believe, all the listeners too. I guess maybe it's funny, but you didn't have to, like, you're in the middle of a sentence, so you're talking and you hear like a car going by. It wasn't conducive to the atmosphere of a show, all right?
That's the sound of the police!
Yeah, that's what I heard. Every time. All right. I thought I was moving on to a new subject. Perhaps I wasn't, but now I will.
It's gonna be...
All right, hey, this is Night Talk Live. Here's a headline here. German nurses charged with 97 more murders at hospital. 97 more murders? Like she was already charged with murders, and this is like 97 more? Okay. All right, in Berlin, a German nurse who is already serving a life sentence for 2 murders has been charged with killing 97 more patients over several years at 2 hospitals in northwestern Germany, prosecutors said on Monday. Well, it sounds like she was a shitty nurse. One, she wasn't good at her job, probably, not unless she worked in a hospice, I suppose. But a very bad work ethic, I suppose. The new indictment against Niels Holger was expected after officials said in November that He may have killed more than 100 patients in total. He worked at a clinic in Oldenburg from 1999 to 2002, until 2002 in nearby Delmenhorst and in nearby Delmenhorst from 2003 to 2005. So that's not like a long time. 3 years plus 5 years. So in 5 years, this motherfucker killed 100 people. Now, I'm not good at math. So this guy was probably killing, let's say, on a good year, he was killing 20 people in a year. And, you know, not every month is going to be even. Like, how many people can you really kill during Christmas? Let's say this guy took Christmas off. And are you really going to be doing extra killing during Thanksgiving? Probably not. So it really breaks it down to like 10 months. Really, 10 months. 10 good killing months. This guy's killing two people a month. That's a lot. This guy's a sick fuck. Is this considered a serial killer at this point? I don't know. I guess it would be considered a mass killer, a mass murderer, not necessarily a serial killer. I guess I need to know what a definition is between a mass murderer and a serial killer is. Like, a mass murderer might just go out and do it once. Okay, I'm going to go out and kill 100 people, and I'm done. That's it. And a serial killer does it over and over again. So I guess this guy would be a serial killer. This guy was convicted in 2015 for 2 murders and 2 attempted murders, and he was given a life sentence for that. So he's a failed nurse, too, a failed killing nurse. He attempted to kill people. He couldn't even get it done. Let's see, during his trial, Hogan had said he intentionally brought about cardiac crises in about 90 patients in Delmenhorst because he enjoyed the feeling of being able to resurrect them. This guy purposely induced cardiac arrest because he wanted to resuscitate. Okay. He later told investigators that he also killed patients in Oldenburg. Okay. What was that an aside? Like, oh, by the way, you know, I tried to induce cardiac arrest in these patients over here, but also you should probably check out Oldenburg. I did some damage over there too. Those statements prompted investigators to carry out toxicological examinations on dozens of other patients who died at the hospital, leading to new charges. This guy is, I don't know, is he the most prolific serial killer at this time? I don't know. Over 100 people. I don't know who's killed more. This person's an absolute piece of shit. To go into a hospital when people are at their most vulnerable, and then to induce cardiac arrest, to resuscitate them, and then if they happen to die, so be it. I guess practice makes perfect at that point, according to this person. Jesus Christ. Someone in the chat says, what is all this stuff? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, what is all this stuff?
What is all this stuff?
You should give me a call in and tell me. 614-388-9109. I do have an article on, oh God, you know what I forgot to play when it came to Tarantino? I totally forgot this. I brought this up years ago on the show. Back when Tarantino was out promoting Django Unchained, he went on a lot of like BET shows, maybe a few. I don't know. When I say a lot, maybe that's more than one. And Tarantino, he acts pretty interesting when he's around black people during interviews. I'm just going to play it. And you can judge for yourself what Tarantino is like. It's, I don't know. It's kind of disconcerting.
Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy?
You make me want to be a better man.
movie. He's known for his unconventional style, and of course for pushing the envelope when it comes to filmmaking. 106 in Park, please welcome writer, director, and Academy Award winner Quentin Tarantino. Let's welcome him to the And now, that film has to be like one of the most quoted movies in Hollywood, with just the lines and everything. So you got to give us, this is my question for you, Q. What is the most famous line, your favorite line from Pulp Fiction?
I think probably the most famous line is, "I'm gonna get medieval on your ass." Big Ream says it.
Pleasing your fans or pleasing the critics for you?
Oh, interesting question, actually. Well, I want to please my fans, and I want to please the critics that are my fans. The critics ain't my fans. I don't give a damn.
True.
Right. There's a lot of them out there.
I think the other thing when you're working with Quentin, you know that what he's really doing is fulfilling his vision. You know, he's a visionary director. For us to have the opportunity to work with.
Now, I'm not that computer savvy. So if he had sent me something that I plug into my computer, I don't know if I would have ever heard it. All right, hey, download this. I don't know how to do that. All right, you know. So he put it on a cassette tape. Then Jamie, my man, all right, goes to the BET Awards, comes back with Rick Ross. Rick Ross and the whole posse. We all got contact high on the set that day.
The whole MG.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, what happened was that bad men, 100 black grays so I can lay their ass in. I need 100 black preachers with a black sermon.
Go over to Carrie with my little tape going to play it. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, that's in the movie. And Anthony Hamilton brought in a joint that was just fantastic. And I took it home and I played it and I go, this is bomb. Before, my movies are always filled with songs, but it's always stuff that I chose from either my own collection or something like that. I never had like a music supervisor hook me up with stuff. It's always stuff I chose. And probably the reason I never did that is I didn't want to actually go up to an artist and ask them to write something and then they do. Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Charlie Brown special. Right. What was that one with Fred Astaire as the mailman? Starts he's narrating it. Santa Claus is coming to town.
There's a Tarantino. I like his movies. Is he just so uncomfortable that he doesn't know what to do with himself when he's surrounded by black people and he has to talk like, I guess, quote unquote, ghetto? It's bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. I don't know if that he was doing some kind of like satirical piece or if like he's doing those are like inside jokes, like he's doing characters. I don't know. Hopefully someone showed him that. And he's like, oh God, I'm a fucking douchebag. Why didn't anybody tell me before? Or maybe he just doesn't give a shit because he's a millionaire. And Joe, you're saying he's a piece of crap? He might be a piece of crap. Yeah. He might be a piece of crap, but he makes pretty good movies. I like his movies. He might be a piece of crap. I don't know. Oh boy. Move on over. Come on.
Hey, John Boy.
All right. We did a lot of Tarantino talk. Talked about the German nurse who completely failed at his job of helping people and wound up killing over 100. And on accident, by the way. I mean, even though he's been charged and sentenced, he's probably doing a good deed. We don't know. We talked about Clue. Master Detective, not the board game, but the movie, starring Lee Ving and Tim Curry. And so that leaves us with Nikola Tesla's time travel experience. He says, I could see the past, the present, and the future at the same time. Nikola Tesla, for anybody who doesn't know, was an inventor, a scientist, a wizard in the late 1890s, early 1900s. He loved electricity. He needed it. He was just an absolute brilliant mind. And there's a lot of conspiracies around Nikola Tesla. I don't know if we've delved into too many on the Our Big Dumb Mouth podcast. We've mentioned it we probably mentioned it assuming everyone knows about Nikola Tesla. I think most of our listeners probably do, and how he was in competition with other big electric people out there, and how when he died, the FBI came in, looked up his documents, and they have been sealed because it's been rumored that he tapped into some free energy technology, and the world just wasn't ready for that yet. So they locked it away in under lock and key for over 100 years now. But his time travel experience, that's what we're talking about right here. In March 1895, while Tesla was researching on magnetic fields, how is this written? In March 1895, while Tesla was researching on magnetic fields, he discovered the connection between time and space. With the usage of these magnetic fields, Tesla found out that time and space could be violated or accessed by creating a door that could lead to a different time. Oh, fuck yeah. Yay! Tesla was hit with 3.5 million volts of electricity. Holy shit. Wow. While experimenting with radio frequencies and power transmissions through the atmosphere. This research of Tesla's led to the infamous Philadelphia Project, as well as Time Travel Project. Now, I should say this website who did this article was called enlightened-consciousness.com. I don't know if we talked about the Philadelphia Project on this podcast. I mean, these are some storied, classic conspiracy paranormal stories. So it was rumored that in the early 1940s that the U.S. Navy was trying to figure out ways to cloak battleships or just large sea vessels by using electromagnetic waves to either distort one's vision or completely phase out the structure itself. And it was theorized that it could be done. They tried to implement it. One of the battleships, the phased through time, and there were reports that people, while they were on the battleship when this thing phased through time, that they got fused within the hull. And that experiment apparently directly came from Tesla's experimentation on radio waves, and I guess shocking himself with 3.5 million volts. Tesla's first experimentation of time travel took place in March of 1895, where a New York Herald reporter said to have found Tesla at a small cafe. Apparently, he looked quite shaken, as he had just taken 3.5 million volts to his body. The voltage almost killed Tesla on the spot, but luckily, his assistant stopped the power of the machine from taking his life. Despite almost dying, he said he found himself in an entirely different atmosphere and time window. Tesla reported saying, "I can see the past, present, and the future all at the same time." Despite this amazing discovery, Tesla showed full awareness that time travel was no joke, just to tamper with. And the result of the experiment turned out to be quite disastrous. It's been reported many years later the same incident occurred in Philadelphia. This was alleged to have been a military experiment carried out by the U.S. Navy in 1943. At the time, it was alleged that the U.S. escort, USS Eldridge, had become invisible to its enemies. While this claim remains unfounded, the U.S. Navy has claimed that no such experiment has ever occurred. Possibly the reasoning for Tesla nearly dying from experimenting is that humans are not meant to alter any forms of time, and that accepting reality for what it is the best option. Well, what about another option that, his body didn't travel through time, that he actually killed himself and was resuscitated, in that his soul get an out-of-body experience? I think that's the most likely scenario here, is that Tesla killed himself with 3 million volts of electricity, and that he had an out-of-body experience, probably something akin to astral travel, and he didn't physically travel. He didn't step through like a Stargate like you see on TV. He didn't hop in a DeLorean and travel through time. His part of his consciousness and soul travel through time. And he probably had an out-of-body experience, some kind of astral travel, astral projection experience in which he thought time travel was possible. Probably. And then his assistant saved his life by turning off electricity. So I think that's probably a much more likely scenario. You do hear of a lot of near-death experiences like that, where they think they feel completely calm, they have complete enlightenment of the universe, they understand everything, and then boom, they're shocked back into reality. They come back into their physical body, and while they have the feeling and impression of everything they experienced in the astral realm, they don't remember all the fucking details. They don't remember it because it was such a trippy experience for them. Or they just can't bring that fucking knowledge back for whatever reason. Someone in chat, Matt says, sounds like Tesla smokes some DMT. Well, it's possible. You can get very similar experiences from DMT, ayahuasca, peyote, acid. I believe you probably could get even similar experiences from marijuana or the weed. It depends on how you use this stuff. I am currently reading several books right now, I'll tell you. One of which is on astral projection and astral travel. And there are a couple different methods to achieve this. It's not easy to do. And in order to leave your body, there's a couple different things. You can just like have an out-of-body experience when you're almost near death, or during times of stress or times of extreme fatigue. You'll have these out-of-body experiences naturally, and you won't even maybe view them as such. Then you can have out-of-body experiences through chemically induced stuff like DMT or ayahuasca, or even sensory deprivation tanks, something that's a little bit more artificial. And then you can also have astral projection or out-of-body experiences when you do hypnosis and meditation. And I'm taking the meditation and hypnosis route. So I've been reading some books on it, and there are a couple different methods to try to leave your body. I think I might be close. I don't know if I'm going to be successful, but I'm trying. And I'm reading up on a few different methods. And so through this book that I'm reading, is like when you leave your body, let's say you're able to do this. Let's say you put yourself in a meditative state right before you go to sleep. And in between the awake state and the absolute dream state, there's that twilight area where you are able to envision yourself leaving your body by visually, mentally creating a ladder and climbing up that ladder mentally until you reach the top where you're able to leave your body. Some people are able to sink out of their body by dropping down through the bed. But most of the cases that I've read that people are able to astral project and astral travel, there is a thin cord attached from your astral body to your actual physical body. And the longer distance you go away, the thinner it gets. It's almost like a psychic umbilical cord. You can always find your way back to your body. And once you're out there, you can basically, if you're trained, you can think of a place, you can arrive at that destination. You can go anywhere in time. You can go and visit loved ones. You can go to different planets. You can go to different dimensions. And so I'm only in the first chapter, by the way. I don't even know everything about this. It's going to be quite interesting. But it's also leaving your body. And I know maybe you shouldn't be this way. I mean, maybe someone more enlightened than myself will be. But I'm actually, it's a little bit of a scary experience to try to do. Leave your body and go on like some of these. I gotta admit, some of these crazy adventures in your mind. I mean, the CIA had a remote viewing program. Those people were able to not necessarily astral project, but they were able to imagine certain things in a safe and conducive atmosphere and with instructor-led remote viewing sessions. So doing astral projection and astral travel on your own, a little different, a little scarier, because I don't know what to expect. But I'm willing to try. Only because I want to find out if it's possible. And if it's possible, well, God damn it, there should be some knowledge gained there that I can bring back and share with you. Whether or not it is the best deals on tacos somewhere in town, or whether or not we can all ascend to the fifth dimension together, and these are the steps you need to take. I don't know. So what if I get lost? Someone in the chat says, what if I get lost during my astral journey? Well, that is what the silver umbilical cord is for. That is attached to your body and to your astral body. So you won't get lost. And so far, chapter 1 says everything's safe. Like you don't need to worry about getting lost in astral projection. I suspect, though, that in the subsequent chapters, you might be able to have a little bit more difficulty out there in the astral realm if you run into different entities or spirits. There's a whole chapter on astral sex and having sex with astral partners. I don't know. I haven't skipped to that chapter yet. I don't know what that's about. Astral sex. We'll see. I don't know. You gotta wear a condom during astral sex? I don't know. I mean, is there a Tinder for astral sex? I'll meet you on the seventh dimension plane, and we'll hook up at the Quanzo Castle, and you can stick my nignug in your woo boob. I don't know what the things are called. I have no idea. But I want to find out. I'm going to give it a good go. I actually have, I'm going to see a hypnotherapist in a week. And this hypnotherapist specializes in a couple different things. One, it is, my first hypnotherapy is going to go to my cigarette addiction. Hi, Mr. Bill.
Yeah, right.
What's up, buddy?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm good. How's your night going?
Not too shabby. I'm hearing you were talking about the astral projection stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting into it. I like the subject, and I'm very curious about it. Do you know anything about it?
Oh, I know lots of it.
Oh.
Tons of it. Yeah, and have you heard that you can astral project out into space where there is a giant brain that has other beings like sucking in and out of it?
Yeah, I mean,
talks to you. Have you heard of that thing?
I've heard of that. Yeah, that was in a book I read called The Sorcerer's Apprentice about the remote viewing program. And there's a distinction between remote viewing and astral projection. But yeah, I had heard of that basically a mother brain being that is basically a central hub for exchanging information.
Wikipedia.
Oh,
it's out there.
I know it's out there. Have you ever tried to do that? Do you get into meditation at all?
Actually, the problem with meditation is you actually have to get up early to do it. And I prefer to sleep in or sleep and then get up and work. You know, if you can do it, you have to kind of get up, you know, at like 6 in the morning or 6:30 or something like that, and you got to sit on the floor and you know, start kind of getting into the mood kind of thing, and you know, reciting your ohms. And then basically you kind of go into the kind of almost a similar state as the sleeping, when you're sleeping and you can feel it. What is it? I have a book about it.
But it's a bit of a process. There's no doubt about that. It's a bit of a process.
Yeah. Lucid dreaming almost kind of thing. So you have to get this in between spot, and then you can kind of do what you want. Apparently.
I've been in that spot. Like I've been in a state of in between the awake state. My conscious brain is absolutely awake, but my body is completely relaxed. I'm snoring, and my girlfriend will like you know, very politely like try to wake me up, saying you're snoring, But in my mind, like I'm completely awake, like thinking of other things. My body's snoring, so I'm already in the state of where I need to be. I just need to leave my body.
Yeah, that's why they want you to do the meditation stuff in the morning, so you're more adept to getting into that state. Yeah, and what else?
Someone in the chat said meditate or masturbate. No, you need to meditate to leave your body.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's another thing. If you really want to get like into the scene, there's way more you can be doing. You can apparently also teleport anywhere you want to.
What scene is this? What am I missing?
Basically, you got to read in to the Emerald Tablets that Thothrod wrote.
Okay.
And basically, he kind of tells you ideas of how you can like envision yourself teleporting, and you can do it. And the other thing you have to do is get your body up into a level where you're able to like really amplify your shit. And one of the ways you do that is by onking. Have you ever onked?
I've never been known to onk. I don't. My father was an onker, but I haven't started.
He didn't teach you how to onk?
No, he did not. He didn't pass it down to me.
He might have hated you.
He may have had a bad onking experience, but I don't know.
Okay, well, this is what onking is.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta probably get a girl to help you.
Yeah, okay. All right, okay.
I'm standing in the middle of the room. You want to meet. You need to be like in an area that's free of anything, so you don't like accidentally fuck up things. Like you want to be like in the conditions you're gonna use a Nintendo Wii.
Okay, we need a clear space.
Yes,
sure. Okay.
And then you stand, and then you gotta get her and go. She goes down on her knees, and she just starts beating you off so hard, and she's whacking it and lubing it up real good to make sure she's not going to accidentally like catch, and then you go hey,
what happened?
So yeah, so
that's
she's beating you off.
Hello.
And then what you have to do is ideally you have an object in both hands, maybe like weights or something like that.
Are we still talking about onking here?
You gotta. Sorry. Say it again.
Are we still talking about onking here?
Yeah, we're still talking about onking. This is the process of onking.
Okay.
So you take your arms and you put your one arm in front of you and your other arm behind you while she's still jacking you off. And right before you come, you gotta turn your body at the waist.
Okay.
And what apparently that does is it takes your sexual energy and it loops it over your heart. And this is one of the secrets to being like longevity. If you want to live forever, you gotta onk, and if you do it a lot, you will start getting really big energy kind of thing.
That's for damn sure.
I've never heard of this.
Go look it up, man.
Go look it up. So you can't onk at work. You have to do this in the privacy of your home, probably.
This is the problem with all these things. You know, it's very kind of hard to do this. Like, okay, now you have to get someone to get involved and help you out and schedule it out and, you know, resort the living room with all the shit and all that kind of stuff. And she has to be in the mood, and you're probably in the mood anyway.
I think I might just stick with the meditation and the hypnosis in order to astral project. The onking, I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I think that's a like a level 5 or level 10 maneuver. I'm sort of level 1.
Oh yeah, big time, man.
Yeah. How do you know about all this stuff? Did your dad show you this stuff or something?
I just I read a lot, and I know a lot of weird things like this, and I know some things about what do you call those guys, the Stargate guys and stuff like that. The ones not the movie, but the guys from the military thing.
Sure, absolutely.
The men who talk to goats.
The men who look at goats. Yes.
And and I know a little bit of martial arts with like the Wing Chun and all that kind of stuff. And
I love the Chun.
yeah, it's a lot of weird shit to
Well, I really appreciate your call, Bill. You brighten up my day, and I hope you give a call back in on the next episode of Night Talk Live.
Yeah, this name is kind of pornographic, by the way.
Night Talk Live.
Because it sounds like we're gonna have like sex talkings.
Well, you know, it's kind of like I don't.
Does that sound like sex sucking you? It's burping. It's awesome. You get into it.
Thanks.
Yeah, anyway.
Thanks.
Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Okay, thank you for your call. What the hell is this?
All right, there goes Bill. He had a lot of important things to say about meditation and about experiences. That's what the Night Talk Live is all about. Weird conversations, weird calls. I bring up stupid topics, and perhaps somebody out there has a comment on them. I'll be around here for another 7 minutes before I get out of here. These dogs are barking out there, and by God, I got to go run around with them out there in the muddy yard because they love it. They absolutely love it. What else we got on tap here? Oh my God, another rare case of a side effect with a child who has Tamiflu. Have you guys heard about this? I think No Agenda just talked about this, but I'll play it for you guys here because no one listens to No Agenda all the way through. I do. I think Joe does. But I'll play this. So Tamiflu has come under fire because there are kids out there taking this stuff, and they're going insane from Tamiflu, which I don't know. I don't even remember the last time I took Tamiflu. I'll put this on screen, motherfucker. Y'all like Tamiflu? Yo, you want to get fucked up? Yo, y'all want to get the flu and get the
More
fucked
about
up?
a rare side effect in children who take Tamiflu, one that, as CBS 11 first reported, can lead to hallucinations, delusions, and even suicide attempts. Our Brooke Rogers broke the story last week, and since then, other families have come forward. Brooke is live in...
Fuck yeah, you want to do some Tamiflu, motherfucker?
I'll do some Tamiflu. I'll do some Tamiflu right fucking now. I'll get on my knees and take that Tamiflu.
Fuck yeah, bitch. Let's fucking do this shit.
Fuck yeah, sounds good. What's up, man? Teddy Spaghetti.
What's going on, Teddy? How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. I heard you said you're in between when you're snoring and some shit like that. Like you're halfway in between sleep and awake. And
yeah.
I wish I could get there, man. I'm violent.
Whoa. Well, you're a violent sleeper?
Well, I'm violent in that halfway state, man. If you wake me up rude, I'm coming up with both. I'm coming up yelling, screaming. I don't remember the shit either. I just cuss people out, tell them to fuck off, and call them cunts. I don't know, man. I had a truancy officer for it when I went to school.
What happened? Like how? Like what? So if someone woke you up, would you just start swinging at them?
Yeah. Yeah.
How bad?
Like bad enough to where I had a truancy officer. Like where like to go to school, they'd have cops come in and knock me up with like knock on my headboard with nightsticks.
Jesus Christ.
It was really bad when I was going to school. Now I got it more under control, but I don't know if it's from childhood, like rough childhood shit or what. But man, I can't control my shit. I'm a different person waking me up than I am just being up. You got to give me like 15 minutes to like wake up or like I'm evil.
I think we're all different people in our dreams. And that might be the point of dreams, that we're all maybe a little bit different in our dreams. So you're telling me when you, hypothetically, you fell asleep in school and someone woke you up, that would create a big problem in school, right?
Yeah, if I fell asleep in school and someone was just like nudging me and shit, I'd tackle them and just start beating their ass like out of nowhere. That's actually happened a few times.
Oh my God, dude. So how many fights did you get in because of this?
I'm sorry?
How many fights did you get in because of this?
Not too many at school, but at home, like, it caused a lot of tension with me and my family. Like, I remember one time my grandmother woke me up by throwing a glass of water on my face, and then she instantly closed the door. And I just remember walking up like Incredible Hulk, and I just remember, like, grabbing drawers and just throwing them against the wall. My cat scratching post, bust against the wall, just yelling like a madman. And then 5 minutes, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I just look around my room, and everything's destroyed. I have, like, no real memory. It feels like I'm still dreaming.
So you're not even, like, aware of it, of what you're doing, and people have to tell you after the fact that you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel horrible about it. I kicked my friend in his knee after he had surgery. Like, he put his cold-ass foot on my my back trying to wake my ass up for school, like, Daddy, come to school. And I'm just like, bah! Kick him right in his fucking knee right after he had, like, that major meniscus, whatever that sentence is. I just pissed off, man. I don't know. That's basically all I wanted to say. See if you had any experience with that. Or am I just a jerk?
Occasionally, I will wake up in a very, not violent state, but I would say physical. I'll like panic sometimes, but very rarely. Like when I'm snoring, my girlfriend will just kind of like gently put a hand on me, like either my shoulder or my chest, and say, and I know that since I'm not fully asleep just yet, and basically say, hey, you're snoring, Mike. Cut it out. And I'll usually roll over at that point and stop. But I've never like leapt straight out and started like attacking someone physically or violently. Now, I might be a bit of a bed hog in my sleep where I'll roll over or take some covers, but not like you. You're like fucking Frankenstein or some shit.
I don't mean to be, man. I feel bad about it. Like, I was afraid of having kids. Luckily, now this is weird. I think subconsciously I won't attack my daughter.
Yeah,
there is
God,
a wall.
That'd be fucking awful, dude. Your daughter wakes
you
you
have
up.
no idea. You have no idea how afraid I was about this shit when my wife was pregnant. I was like, God, I'm about to have a kid. How's this kid won't wake me up? How am I going to react? Luckily, there's a mental block there because I'm so afraid of being a bad parent.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, you might give her a power driver or a DDT or a Boston Crab or any number of WWE moves.
Oh, God.
Be awful.
Oh, God.
Go off the top rope and drop an elbow on your kid. Right, dude.
I'm so glad it's not that. But anyways, Mike, I just want to call in with that.
Thank you, Teddy. Appreciate that.
And you got alien juice or you ain't got that?
I don't think I have. I can do half of it. Here we go. This.
Aliens! Oh, they come to
I'm
Earth.
satisfied.
There you go.
The shampoo.
I'm satisfied, Mike. You take it easy, bro.
Have a good night.
Okay, thank you for your call.
There we go. Yeah, this is not a traditional OBDM show. This is Night Talk with. This is Night Talk. With Midnight. Yeah, this is Night Talk. This is not a traditional OBDM podcast. This is me coming out here doing kind of like a live vlog, live video log. I'll probably be doing a lot more of those, just kind of taking random phone calls, trying to grow the channel, trying to be a little bit more interactive, producing more content out there, reading some stories. And I got the equipment. Why not use it and have a little bit of fun? And this will be the last story of the night. I just want to play this right here. Another case of rare side effects in some children who have taken Tamiflu.
Dallas with
Tamiflu.
one father's story. Brooke?
That's my name. My name's Tamiflu. Call me Tamiflu, motherfucker.
Well, Gilma, the Allen family we spoke to last week said their 6-year-old daughter tried to jump out of a second-story window after taking Tamiflu.
Oh, yeah.
They now tell us, thankfully, she is okay, but we have learned they are not alone.
This was Lindsay Ellis of Indianapolis before she had the flu last year, before she began hallucinating bugs on her body and the devil's voice in her ear.
It literally reminded me of like a scary movie at that time. I'm like, is my daughter possessed? What is really going on?
Her father says doctors believe it was a reaction to Tamiflu.
About day 3 of her on the medicine, she's acting just loopy.
The 11-year-old was hospitalized for nearly 2 months, had a feeding tube, and was incoherent and unable to move her hands or feet for several weeks.
Not knowing if my daughter was going to make it from day to day, because the doctors are telling me I don't know what to do. And it was horrific, I think, for anybody involved in it that came to see her.
A year later, she still suffers tremors. Ellis, like the other families we have heard from, wants more transparency when it comes to Tamiflu, better labeling on the packaging, and warnings from doctors who prescribe it. It's something Japan took a step further. They banned Tamiflu for youth ages 10 to 19 in 2007 after several dozen instances of neuropsychiatric events.
China. And a spokesperson from manufacturer Genentech sent us a statement. It says in part, neuropsychiatric events have been reported during administration of Tamiflu in patients with influenza, especially in children and adolescents. These events are also experienced.
Oh, man, shit. My name's DJ Tamiflu, motherfucker. Shit. That's some fucking deadly consequences for some people to fucking endure. You take something that you expect is going to help your kid, especially an 11-year-old, and she winds up hearing the devil's voice in her ear. As a parent, how do you really fucking reconcile that? And it's like, can they sue at this point? I don't know. I would hope so. I don't want to be too crazy or too happy here, but this kid is suffering tremors. She's hearing the devil. I would say hearing the devil in your ear as an 11-year-old is at least worth $500,000 from Tamiflu. They got the money. Pay it out. Fucking do that shit. I'll do some Tamiflu right now for $500,000. I want to hear the devil. Yeah. Fuckers. All right. 614-388-9109. That is the number to call in. I am going to get out of here, guys. I did my time. An hour of Night Talk. I'll probably be back next Monday. Why not? Monday Night Talk. I'm going to get out of here. You know how it goes. Probably going to come up with a new 80s theme. Night Talk. Night Talk. Live. Yes. I need a 80s logo that says Night Talk. It's got to be gaudy, 80s gradient chrome and 80s colors. It's going to be Night Talk. I need like a Seinfeld, like early 90s, late 80s jacket or something like that. I'll feel better. Night Talk will evolve. Basically, I just want to be Art Bell on Coast to Coast AM. That's what Night Talk's all about. So, all right, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for tuning in, and I will be back next week. And Joe and I will be back on Wednesday or Thursday with a full podcast experience. Be a part of the magic. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Go to ourbigdumbmouth.com. Go to obdmpod.com. If you want to join the Slack, give an email to ourbigdumbmouth@gmail.com. We're on Instagram at OBDM pod. And I'm going to be posting up a little, some more stuff on the Instagram. I'm going to take pictures of the studio. Probably doing little videos of the studio and how I do all the production and processing and all that kind of stuff. And as always, Shabla Goo. And we'll talk to you next time.